Welcome to MSD Learning World. Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to see the selection sorting method that is going to be created by brute force approach. So what is a selection sorting method? So as the name implies, select. We are going to select a target item from the given n number of elements. So the selection sort. In this sorting, with the given n number of elements in the array, initially the brute force approach is going to assume that all the elements are in not sorted way. So initially all the elements are not in sorted order. So now what it is going to take is, it is going to divide the entire list of elements into two lists. They are said to be sub list. Left sub list of array and right sub list of array. So now from the entire list of elements, it is going to select a minimum item, and this minimum element is going to be placed as the first element of the left sublist. Now, leaving the first element, all the remaining elements are assumed to be right sublist, which is in a non-sorted order. So now the left sublist element is going to be in a sorted order. This is what is the selection sort. It will assume that left sublist elements are in sorted order, the right sublist element are in not sorted order. Now again this process starts. From the right sublist, it is going to select the minimum item and it is going to place in the left sublist as the second element. Again the remaining non-sorted elements, it is going to again select the third minimum element and place it as a third element in the left sublist. So this process continues until n number of iterations, and the minimum element is going to be targeted and it is selected and it is placed in the left sublist. So at last, after n iteration, all the elements in the left sublist is going to be in a sorted order. Now the main thing is that the user can select whether left sublist to be a sorted order or right sublist to be a sorted order, and this process is going to be designed according to the programmer. And the minimum element that we are going to select when we are sorting the element in the ascending order. If you sort the element in descending order, then we try to select the maximum element and kept in the left sublist. So this is how the selection sorting process proceeds by using the brute force approach. The steps in the selection sort by the brute force approach is, initially all the elements, that is n number of elements in the array, are not sorted. Now initially it is going to assume left sublist as P, capital P, and the right sublist as capital S. Initially capital P is equal to 0 and S is going to have S equal to n. Then now our process is that we have to select the minimum number from the S list and place it in the exact place in the left list. So now when you are placing the element in the list P, so P is equal to 1 now, and S will be is equal to, that is capital N minus P. Then you will again select the next element and keep it in the next place. Now P will be equal to 2 and S will be again equal to N minus P. So again and again this entire process keeps on proceeding until your S becomes 0. This is what is the brute force approach. You will have a left sublist and right sublist. Left sublist is going to be assumed that the elements are in sorted order, and the right sublist is going to be picking the minimum element from the given set of elements in the S list. Now let us see an example how the selection sort is done with the list of elements. So now here the list contains, that is an array contains 89, 45, 68, 90, 29, 34 and 17. So these are the n number of elements now. So initially it is going to be assumed that all the elements are not in the sorted order. So from this list of elements, now the 17 is the minimum element. I am going to make the selection sort for the ascending order. So smallest to the largest number. So 17 is the minimum element, and now this 17 is selected and it is placed in the first position. Now, this 17 alone is going to be decided as the left sublist, and the remaining 6 elements from 45 to 89 is going to be assumed as the right sublist. So, now from the 45 to 89, which is the minimum element now? The minimum element is 29. So, now 29 is selected and it is placed in the second position of the left sublist. So, now 17 and 29 is the element of the left sublist which is in the sorted order. Now, from 68 to 89, the minimum element is 34. The 34 element is selected and it is placed as the third element after 29. Now, in the right sublist of 4 elements, 45 is the smallest element which is selected and it is placed as the fourth element after 34. So, now the left sublist contains 4 elements and the right contains 3 elements. So, after each iteration, the sublist of the left is going to be, size of the left sublist is going to be incremented. Now, from 90, 68, 89, 68 is the minimum element which is selected and it is placed after 45. Now, from with 90 and 89, 89 is the minimum element which is selected and it is placed in the left sublist. Now, the 90 in the right sublist is the remaining a single element which cannot be compared with any number of elements. So, it is placed in the last position. Now, this is how the selection sort procedure happens by using brute force method. See, now you have a single list at the end which contains the sorted elements in ascending order. Now, let us see how the selection sort is used in the various real-time applications. So, one of the real-time application is the recruitment selection. Now, let us see a web page naukri.com. As an administrator, when a person need to select the list of applicants who are satisfying their requirement based on the salary or based on the designation or based on the age, if the administrator is giving that query, then the website will be selecting a particular person or applicant that satisfies the query. There comes the selection sort. As an applicant, if you want to select a list of jobs that satisfies for your requirement, the query will select the list of jobs available from the website. So, this is a real-time application where selection sort is used. Next comes your recommendation system. Nowadays, the recommendation system is used in all the real-time websites. For example, when you take a news website, so in that place, if you want to see the sports news, then when you are clicking the sports, you will be seeing the first news. There comes the recommendation system will be recommending the list of sports news at the bottom of the websites. That is what is the recommendation system. The people who have also viewed those news. It is recommending the user to see the related news that are updated in the websites. This is what is the recommendation system. For that, the recommendation system is using the selection sort based on the query given by the user. Now, let us see the mobile app application. In your mobile, you will be giving the apps to be downloaded based on your interest. Suppose you want to download a scanning software, mobile scanning software, and you give scan. You just select all the mobile scanning applications based on the rating given by the user. There comes the selection sort. When you take e-shopping application, when you take Amazon, suppose when you give the query as you want to buy a shirt between the range 200 to 800 rupees. So, there comes the selection sort. The machine will be selecting all the shirts ranging from this price and it will be placed in an ascending order. There comes the selection sort. Then take the IoT applications. When you want to select the data which is more efficient from the particular sensors. So, the data selection from the sensors is done by the selection sort. Where suppose you may have any number of sensors and you may give some requirement that the sensor data must be in the range of some 0.5 to 1.2. So, between this range, the system will be selecting a particular data from the sensors and it will be arranging those sensor data in the ascending order. So, selection sort is also used in the embedded applications. So, these are the applications of the selection sort where it is used in real time. So, here comes the algorithm for the selection sort. So, here the array contains the element from 0 to n minus 1. So, once it is coming, initially we are going to assume that all the elements are not in sorted order. So here what we are going to do is, initially you are going to start the for loop for I equal to 0 to n minus 2, because the last element, however, you are not going to check whether the last element is going to be minimum or not, because finally when the last element is placed, it is sure that the last element will be the largest element if you are sorting in ascending order. So you are starting the I loop from 0 to n minus 2. Now the entire list you need to find the element which is minimum, but you cannot view the entire element as a whole and select the minimum element. For that you are going to assume that the first element that you are going to take, and you are assuming that first element is assumed as the minimum element. So minimum equal to I. So the ith element is taken where I equal to 0. So the first element is now will be the minimum element. Now your J loop starts. Your J loop starts from the 0 to n minus 2. Again from this you are going to compare the minimum element with the next element. Then if it is not minimum, you are not going to swap it. Then again the minimum element is checked with the entire j iteration by checking all the remaining elements. So once you found a minimum element that is less than the min value already stored, then you swap it. This is done till the end of the element. After you are performing, then you are going to take the minimum element and place it in the first position, and the element placed in the first position is going to be swapped with the a of min. So that is why you are using swap of a of I and a of min. So the minimum element is taken and placed in the position of the left sublist, and that element is taken and placed in the a of min. So the time complexity of the selection sort is that the inner loop J loop is going to be executed for n minus 1 minus I times, and the outer loop is going to be executed for I equal to 0 to n minus 2 times of n minus 1 minus I times. So when you expand it, you will have n into n minus 1 divided by 2, which is of n square times. So n into n plus 1 divided by 2, which is order of n square. So the total time complexity is order of n square. But without deriving the formula, it is very clear that the outer loop is going to be executed for n number of times when you leave all the constant values, and the inner loop is also going to be executed for n times. So n into n, it is n square. This is what the normal easy way that I have told you already in the previous time complexity applications. So whenever you can easily multiply, whenever you have a nested for loop where outer loop n times and inner loop n times, the time complexity of the selection sort is order of n square. So in this video we have seen the selection sort and the methods, how the brute force approach is performing the selection sort procedure, and we have seen examples and the applications of the selection sort along with the algorithm, and how we are able to calculate the time complexity of the algorithm. Do not forget to like, comment, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you. Bye.